Hello friends, how are you today? Sharon Hankins here from the blog I Restore Stuff, ready to show you a project using our brand new Essential Stencil Patriotic Bundle. So let me point this camera down now and we'll get started. Our stars, I'm going to use the large one and I'm going to use that for a bit of a background. And I'll tell you why in just a minute when I get my other one out. Oh, Tracy, you can't wait to use your bundle. All right, so here's our stars. Now, the reason I'm going to use these as a background is because when I put this, when I was trying to find a background surface for my America's 250th anniversary stencil set, I felt like there's too much space out here in the back. So maybe I might even just do a border of the stars and the rest in there. The other thought that I did have, I love telling you my thought processes here, was to turn the canvas sideways because it does fit there, and it is a 10 by 12 inch stencil set. So this is the 12 inch here. And so it would fit there, but then we've got to kind of fill in those gaps either side. So I could do stars like that on either side, but I feel like it might work a bit better this way. You like the border of the stars idea, Darlene? Thank you. Is anyone else liking that idea? Because I feel like it has to be subtle though. I don't want it, you know, red or blue, because I think it would be too busy. Because look at the busyness of our beautiful stencil already. There's a lot going on with the stencil itself. So I do want to be careful not to make it too busy. Oh, I should have got another color out. I should have maybe got the brown for the eagle. Didn't think about that. Maybe we could just use... We should use the brown. Will you just hold on half a second? I'll be super quick and find my brown paint. Hopefully you can hear me right now. I've got chocolate. I think that'll do fine. Fusion's chocolate, the perfect brown for our eagle. Okay, and then we can go on. I've got some gold in here. We've got lots of, I like to use that little guide, the color guide. So this has got 3 layers to it, and the layers are all marked. We've got layer 1 up here, and you might be able to see some little etching marks, etching areas on the stencil. If I can get the light to that properly, you can see some of the other stencils. It shows you with an etch outline where those stencils will go. So that's the first layer that goes down. So we've got the eagle, the bell, and the stripes on the flag. Then we've got layer 2, which says layer 2, and it's got the words up the right way, so we've got to make sure we put it on properly. So then we've got that part that we can go ahead and do, and then you put on the layer 3. Now once you've got them all together, it will look like a beautiful picture with all of the different areas, all different colors. So can't wait to do this one. I'm not sure, has anyone done this one yet of the ambassadors? I haven't seen what everyone's done, but first we've got to do our background. Dun, 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 dun. Donna said you haven't seen anyone use this one yet? Okay, well, let's see how I go. So what I said before is I want it subtle, so I'm going to use white on cream just to use a subtle, make it a subtle star background, and then it kind of won't compete with the beautiful design that we've got going on here. Okay, so we've got that cream raw silk in the background. I'm going to go ahead and do our stars, and we'll be able to see that very subtly in the background. Okay, so our first layer, let's see, layer number 1, layer 3, layer 1. Layer 1 is this one here, and so we need to have that in the center. And we may need a couple of coats on this one. Oh gosh, I need to see this little ribbon here. Oh, it's got red and blue, so let's see if we're doing that red or blue. Maybe the last one is blue. Hopefully I'm doing these in the right way. Now, what other areas do we have to do red? We've got our stripes for the flag are red. Now, it could be a good idea to tape off those areas right beside the bell too. Offloading cardstock. Yellow gold. And I think that it will help stand out when we go over the yellow with our other gold. Kind of helps it to stand out and pop. Oh, it's looking a bit light. Maybe it's a bit too... Okay, that's pretty. I like it. But we can use some, you could even sort of mix it with a little bit of the brown. That might create a nice subtle metallic as well. However, we'll go on. So I'm going to take this tape off and just reuse it for the next layer. Here is our first layer. So there it's kind of, you can see the eagle, but it will make a little bit more sense if we have our next couple of layers on. Making sure that's dry now. So here it'll say layer 2 on the top of your stencil set. You can see the gold. Okay, our next layer, we've got to sit it right over the top of this layer. Oh, hang on, let's see. Oh, it's going under. I was thinking that banner had to go on top of that. No, this is the second layer and it's going underneath here. Oh, you know what? I didn't line up my crosses. It's got some little crosses to line it up with. So these are little registration marks. And if you have a pencil, which I don't have a pencil, but you can get a pencil and mark that even with a little bit of tape. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to put a bit of tape underneath because I don't want to mark my canvas with pen. I'll use this one. And so there's these little tiny crosses right here, and that's what I accidentally got. I actually accidentally stenciled the little cross onto my design, and you don't want to do that. Okay, where's my scissors I had here before? Just a tiny bit of tape to mark that there. And I'm going to put it right here because that's where the cross little registration mark is, and right here. And then I can get my pen, and I'm not drawing on my canvas. You could do pencil if you like, but even pencil's a little bit harder to erase on the canvas. Let me see if I'm making that mark. Well, it helps if the pen's working, right? Okay, there's that one. And we've got a little cross this way. And this will help you line up your stencils correctly. So you can see my little cross mark here, and they're both on the painter's tape. So we leave that tape there for the remainder of our stenciling, and we line up then the two cross marks with the two cross marks either side. And then we've got it in the right place. And now I can, now I can tape it down. And we're going to do the blue. You can use your nice bright Liberty Patriotic blues, or you can use a nice dark, we've got midnight blue, but flag stripe. And then we'll do this banner. These layered stencils, people are a little bit intimidated by them, but as long as you're using the layers in the right order, which they're all numbered, they are super easy to use, and they just come out looking spectacular. So you'll just have to stay to the end to have a look. And don't forget, guys, join in the comments. You know the rules. Those of you who've been here before. If you're new to watching us live, we go live 5 nights a week with all our live 5 ambassadors. And we show you stenciling tips and tricks using essential stencils and transfers. And we give away prizes to 3 lucky winners at the end of every live. What colour would that be? That beak is going to be something else. We've got these little areas on here. We've got some stars that could be gold as well. I do need to do the background of this blue though. So it's just a matter of figuring out what colour all the layers need to be. Going in from the edges. I think it's like, is it a bit of wood? A big chunk of wood that's on the bottom there? All right, so now for our eagle, this colour that I've mixed just a bit of that chocolate with some white or raw silk. Going over for our second coat. Now, even the second coat, you want to make sure that there's hardly any on your brush. And we're going to go do these flags, and then you'll be able to see the difference. It's a nice solid colour. Now, next layer. So it's got 3 layers. We take off this one. Let's see if I can tell. My bell's looking a bit. Oh, we've got a little bit of the stencil. Sometimes on the very fine bits, you might find a little bit of plastic coming loose. It was just kind of stuck in one of these bells here, but that's okay. It doesn't take away from the design. So now you can see that it's all starting to take shape. That's our second layer, and our third and final layer we have here, and it will go right on top. So we've got our red, our blue's looking okay. I'm kind of happy with that. That's the colour Cambridge for that nice old world blue. So again, with our registration marks, that remember we put our little crosses right here, just line that cross up and line this cross up. And this will be exactly where you need to place it in order to do your last layer. All right, what are we doing the eagle's head with? Maybe we could do it sort of a goldy colour that we've got already going on here. And we've got some more stars, so let's do those stars as well. They're nice and bright and shining. They could be different colours, you know, so it doesn't matter because they're on different layers, the outside areas. And with this one, I'm just doing a bit of a gentle pounce on the red. Yeah, I'm hoping the words will stand out on the red. So the gold, it's like a gold thread weaving in and out around that red, white and blue, or red and blue that we painted earlier. Now we've got these leaves, which I'm just going to make those gold as well. Thank you so much for hanging around, ready to see our finished project. For our stripes, it will kind of make that pop a little bit more, I think. All right, have I stenciled everything? There's probably little bits that I might need to go over, but who's ready for the big reveal? Thank you guys for your patience. Now I have to take off my little registration mark tabs as well. That helped me throughout this process to make sure I lined up my stencils correctly. So as long as you've got those on, and ta-da, here we go. Can you imagine that with whatever metallic that you had envisioned on doing yours? And you can even see the little crack on the Liberty Bell there. Can you see that? Let me get it to the shiny spot. Wow, I like it. So maybe I have to go over this with a little brighter gold, but I think I really liked how that turned out. And it doesn't look too bad with our stars in here as the background. What do you think? Who's keen to get the whole package, the whole kit and caboodle? We've got all of the patriotic stencils available. Don't forget to use my code, I restore stuff nicely. Alrighty guys, we will see you again next week for another fun live project. Bye for now.